What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another check-in week. For anybody who's new around here, many months ago, unfortunately I can't actually remember which month, I started an exercise, fitness, I guess kind of weight loss journey. And I've been exercising mostly outside. Now, I had a short period of time where I had access to an apartment, and so I was able to kind of boot this journey off while I was living in some temporary housing. But after that, I moved back into my minivan, and now I'm living in my Chevy Express. But I mostly exercise outside, and I am often asked, is that embarrassing? Is it hard to get over that? Like, how do you deal with the fact that you're outside where anyone could look at you? And I wanted to talk about that in this video. But before we get there, let's actually look at footage from this week. What's up? It's Sunday. Is this turning into my Sunday shirt? I feel like I wore this last week. In fact, I feel like this whole setup almost looks just like last Sunday when I did a check-in. It's a tad dark. I wonder if we can get better lighting if I move around. This is a completely different rest stop, I swear. I actually did make some progress. Yeah, let's stand up here a little bit and chat on our Sunday check-in, where I just got finished. Why do I have this in my hand? I just got finished doing, it's loud. And that's what happens when you have to do these videos at places where there's a lot of traffic and trucks. Sometimes there's going to be a lot of loud background noise. But the big thing I wanted to talk about in this week's video is the fact that I do this in public places. Like I film and record and do my exercise routines in public places, and there are people like, I don't know how you do it. Aren't you, like, how do you get over that, like, embarrassment or that intimidation? And the answer is, I just try to value knowing I'm going to accomplish getting the exercise done more than the number of eyes around. I am more comfortable when a space is completely empty, which this space is not. I'm facing this way, but literally if I flip the camera the other way, you would see so much foot traffic, like, going back and forth right now in front of me. So it's probably one. Actually, I'm going to turn this around just so you can see all those cars. So this is not, but lighting is better this way, or I like it better this way. So this is not a lightly populated rest stop at all. And like I said, you just have to push past it. And that's sort of been like what I've had to do. And literally there's been times like my heart was slowly rising into my throat, and I did it anyway. That's really the only solution for something like this, is like you do it anyway. The other day, I actually got recognized. Woman kept her social distance, but she was like, are you the DawnofVanlife? And I felt really weird, because I always feel weird when that happens. It hasn't happened a ton, but it has happened enough that it's like that moment of like, Oh. Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Are you taping?
Yeah, the camera right there. I really don't feel like a YouTuber. There's a part of me that feels like very, very invisible. And I'm used to moving in the world sort of with this gray man effect. So when somebody recognizes me, first of all, when they start to approach, I'm afraid something bad is going to happen. And then it never has. So it's an imaginary fear. And I feel the same way about like people staring. It's an imaginary fear. And so I just have to reason through that as it comes up. It's just like this reasoning that it's an imaginary fear. It's an imaginary created judgment in my head. And at the end of the day, if a stranger that I will see once in my life, that will see me once in my life for a few minutes, has the nerve to think something bad about me, like, look at that fat girl like bent over doing like weird moves, doesn't really matter. They're gonna move on with their life, I'm gonna move on with my life, and really that moment of them like having that thought or even saying it out loud to a friend of theirs is gonna pass, and they're gonna move on and I'm gonna move on, and I will still have the value of making myself get out and do that exercise. But speaking of which, that's kind of why I do these short clips on YouTube and not like the whole routine. It's because I am embarrassed about the way my body looks in some positions. Like, I don't want to be publishing videos of me doing downward dog. I barely want to do that outside in public, so of course I don't want to put it in the video. And so, filming the whole routine, but then picking out these little clips and sort of cutting it to music makes it something more acceptable that I can deal with being on YouTube for the long term. And so I don't want to show like those really weird, awkward moments where I don't like the position my body is in, or sometimes I have a really hard time like skimming through that video because like I'll film the whole thing. So I have an hour to an hour and a half of video, and about 30 seconds of that ends up on the actual final video. So I'm literally skimming through it, trying to get to that point that I'm the least embarrassed about. It's not even the point that I'm proud of. I'm trying to find the point that I'm least embarrassed about. I'm ripping out all the audio, I'm cutting it to music, and I'm throwing a bunch of like distractions on the screen, like text and animations and days of the week and all these other things that are catching your eye, so you're just not seeing too much of me looking like a goofball. So it's just a process, and it's a process every single time I do it. But it is the reason, like that one, okay, so I'm doing the whole routine outside. A human being could see me. Technically, a human being could film me, but they're probably not going to. Even if they stare for 5 seconds, they're going to move on with their lives. They have better things to do than spend like 45 minutes to an hour watching me. Even if they're like, especially because I have the camera out when I'm doing it, so it'll be like, and then they move on. And it's over. And I still have the accomplishment of having finished the exercise. Now, the problem is if I put like 45 minutes to an hour online where I am embarrassed about most of it and how I look, even if I got 100 encouraging comments, the 5, 3, 2, 1 negative comment about me could have such an effect that it would damage me being able to move forward. So that's how I regulate sort of the embarrassment while still trying to get the benefits of sharing my journey with other people. So it's not easy. It's just something I work through every time. And it's just like sort of the snack cravings I talked about last week. It's something I work through each and every time I'm in that moment. Like, there's no point. Some things have gotten easier. Honestly, I haven't glanced at or wanted candy in a very long time. Like, I don't even want it. There's literally no candy where I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could have it. Like I said, my greatest weakness has been potato chips. That has been my greatest weakness. It's been the potato chips. Not gonna lie, way more likely to like fold and grab a bag of those than anything else. I used to also do snack kicks a lot, Haven't thought about them. Like, I'll walk right past it. Like, I don't want, like, I literally don't want it. It was filler. It's okay, but it didn't taste that great. So I'm just kind of like, I don't need it. But it's something about darn potato chips. Like, those have been like sort of my greatest little failing, as it were, when I go near convenience stores and stuff like that. So like there's no magic formula. I do get embarrassed. I get totally embarrassed all the time. Even right now, you know, like I'm always worried about people. Like, I am standing in the middle of a public place talking to a camera. And of course I know at some point somebody's like looking, what's she doing? Then they look away. And then they go on with their lives because they have better things to do than watch me stand here. But it's a process each and every time. It does not go away. It does not get easier. But when I look back at my week and I know I actually got up and did the thing every day, I'm more proud of that than the brief fears I experience when I set up to do the exercise in the first place, or when I'm going through it, or like when a place turns out to be crowded or there's a lot of people walking by. Like, I'm more proud of the end game accomplishment than the complications of getting there. All right, I don't know how you feel about this video, but I need to go, and I will see you in the next video. Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye.